My content is for 13 and up or adult collectors of the product. Hello everyone! For this video, it is the review of the B-197 Divine Belial Nexus Adventure-3. So before we continue with this video, let's shoot past 200 comments and subscribe if you are new here with bell notifications on. To get this out of the way, this video has been sponsored by J&J Store. We were sent a copy for a review. For any of our customers that are wondering, the following week we'll have our orders shipped out. So with that being said, we are at the start of Beyblade Burst Ultimate. As we can see with the box, I'm sure we can tell that there is no animation. Not only that, but obviously going over the main gimmick, it's pointing out the fact that it has metal on the blade and that obviously Belial 2 has a burst stopper. So it'll be very interesting to go over this. This is kind of like an evolution because some parts are new, some parts aren't. Then after we have the back of the box. Now, of course, for the abbreviations, you can see that Divine is DVN. And for the part by part, we're going to go over it. And for the comments, look at this. Oh. Now, as we can see, Divine next to future gear releases. Now let me know your predictions in the comments for how you think these gears are going to be. We already know it's Achilles and Dragon. Yellow one not as of the time of this recording. And it'll be very fun to go over. So the stickers that are right here. So going over to our part by part. This one will be a little bit easy since it's mostly just recycled parts. We have Belial 2. So there is no new DB core like Belial 3. Now the reason for this is that Belial 2 is pretty much the peak for Belial. It has the burst stopper and everything. They can't evolve it any further. So I'm okay with it. Now when you do a side-by-side to the original, you will notice slight differences to it. The recolor just looks okay. I'm not crazy about it. The red looks really sick, but pretty much for this core, as I've already mentioned, aside from just the burst stopper, the teeth on it are, I would say, very solid and strong locks. And you pretty much have stamina compared to like the top tier, so you would use this for stamina combos, you would use this for attack combos, and yeah. We're gonna move over to the other parts now. And for our next part, we have the BU blade. Now, this blade is what we call Divine. So, Divine's gimmick is that it basically, other than the fact that it has Ultimate Valkyrie's shape, it features metal, as you can see, on each of the points here. So the metal contact is kind of like a cool concept, although I'm pretty sure it's not too heavy. And the reason for this is what we're going to be going over. So if we now see the side profile, you are going to notice that it is very empty there. So because it's very empty there, when it's going to be making contact and hits, it's not going to be strong. Now, you just look, it's also very thin. Pretty much the same for all of it. So what I'm going to suggest is, we'll go over this later on in the video, is that you definitely should be using either F gear or A gear. It needs the gears in order to function, which is pretty much the same as all the other blades. So if I do a side-by-side with them, you have our original Dynamite, which Dynamite was pretty much very basic. Then after there was Dangerous, when they decided to put rubber, very hard rubber, on the thing. And then after, we finally have it to wear metal. Now, I think personally, with how the design has been, I do think that Dynamite was the best way to design it to where it's compatible with the gears, because I feel like when they got it right the first time, that's because they planned it out. And then after the future evolutions, it probably got more difficult to figure out how to incorporate it. We now have the 3 armor. Now with 3, there are no stickers for it. They should have just given it painted then, like gold or red. Maybe it would have been too much red, so then gold. For how good 3 is pretty much good for like 3-sided stuff. So like Divine, I guess, Dangerous if you want to, Dynamite, Savior, Ultimate. It's a solid armor paired up on those stuff, I would say. That being said, we have Nexus. So Nexus is only good if you have the S gear on it. Nexus needs gears in order to be good. Otherwise, there's way better options to use. We have our new performance tip, which, get this, the name is Adventure. So yes, there is Venture and Adventure. There are small differences between the two. If we look at it side by side, so the claw part is a lot more pushed out and more aggressive. And also how the rubber is. So the rubber is more upwards on here, and a little bit more, I guess, of the flat is wider. And the other thing too is that the original gimmick with Venture is the same as it was for Anchor, and then after, I guess, yeah, the spiritual evolution to Anchor. So the idea was it would basically, the rubber would tap on the stadium floor and it would accelerate. Now, despite all this, I always see Venture, and maybe the same for well, actually, Adventure, I have no idea, but Venture I always kind of saw as like a little bit of a balance type more than attack. It's just like alright, and I assume probably it'll just be the same tier as Venture, but an interesting thing too is that the rubber tabs actually get tapped and pushed in, and I will get over to the gears and how it affects it afterwards, but the lock pretty much feels the same strength as regular Venture. So that being said, my warning, because Adventure and Venture are basically the same, and especially with V-Gear, this is like slightly tighter than I would say a Dash, or it feels like just as strong. So be aware of this, because since it's very strong, your teeth will get a wake-up call, so just be mindful of this. Aside from that, I think it's pretty cool. Let's first weigh this stuff, and then after we go over whatever else. Alrighty, so now for the part by parts. Now first of all, our original Belial 2, 7.95. Holy guacamole, 8.11. That is the power of red. I am not biased to the color of red. I just think that's pretty sick. Okay. So Dynamite, 5.56, just to give you perspective. Then after Dangerous was 9.89. This is lagging behind Dangerous in weight, which was surprising because I thought, well, it has metal on it. 9.41. So that means even if you put F gear on it, it'll still weigh less than Dangerous. Weird choice. 13.2. 13 almost 6. So the original Venture is 7.84. 8.13. So yeah. So now let's get this assembled. So for base Dynamite Belial, you're looking at about 64.78. For Dangerous Belial, you're looking at about 69 nice, 0.53. How much is our lad? 69.44. So before anything else, that's how much it is. So let's just... So with all the Belials next to each other, before I just show it assembled normally and everything, I gotta say that the Belial evolution line has been a very weird one. I feel like it has pretty much been heavily inspired by Valkyrie for its designs, especially when you consider Dangerous and we had Savior. Although not like, when I say inspired, I don't mean like one-to-one, I just mean very loosely, but I really like the red, and I'm sure that's going to look really cool on Dangerous if I ever want to put it there. So now with a closer look, yeah, of course that the red really does pop out on the eyes. I just wish some of the sections here, they didn't kind of like switch around, but what can you do? Oh, 3 stars, wow. Alrighty, now, high mode. Wow, look at that. Yeah, this thing definitely... Yeah, they should have given the 3 stickers. Oh my god, the side profile on high mode's so weird. Look at that gap on this thing. Yeah, it's for the... Oh. Speaking of which, but zankye, what about the gears? Well, I'll quickly explain it. Alright, so basically to go over the gears and everything. Okay, so basically, remember that complaint I just had for Divine? Well, get your best friend F gear. Because now what that's going to do is it's going to basically fill that gap right there. I really recommend for using Divine, please use it with gears. And kind of fills it out. It's a little bit more circular, kind of. Really just filling out the missing edge. So at the very least, this should not only improve stamina and make it hit harder. Nexus, I don't even need to explain. Nexus plus S, more attack power, better. Okay, now this is actually really important. With Adventure, I want you to look at it, if the camera can focus. Okay, now you see the rubber tabs. Now, aside from, I think, increasing the lock, look at this. The rubber tabs are gone, so now you basically just have it as this. Which is really weird that they have it like this. Now, the reason why I think they have Adventure designed like this is because you have to remember, in Japan, the main stadium is the Dynamite Battle Stadium, and because maybe rubber attack is not that effective, most likely they realized this, so they probably just did it like this on purpose. The most I can see is that this is maybe just better slightly than Venture Plus V. That's pretty much it, but I will have a full video going over all the stuff and the benefits and whatever, but about 14.94. 13.8. Alrighty, now here you have Perfect Divine. Okay, now how much does this thing weigh? 87.6. Somehow slightly more than, okay, probably just the factor of the disc or whatever. Okay. So I'm gonna be honest, I kind of, if I ever do Perfect, you gotta keep the gears like this one. Like, look at how cool it is. It's like, it just stands out. Of course, there is that campaign purple L gear, and I want to get it, so most likely. Also, just so I don't get the comments, hey, what does it look like with the original gears? Let's see. Whoa, look at that. Yeah, I prefer with colored gears. Actually, that can be the comments question. Do you prefer Divine? What gear colors do you prefer associated with it? Honestly, I like it with maybe the whatever. All right, so now we're gonna do the battles, but without the gears, and I'll pick a good array of the stuff, and hopefully this does well. 3, 2, 1, go shoot. And of course, you gotta bring out a different skin for the new series. Oh, wow, well, there's 2 on the rip. So I want you to notice that it's going pretty wild. And not only the fact that it's very aggressive, but if you notice, the stamina. Whoa, now you be the judge of that. Oh, it didn't self-kill. All right, let's go Adventure. All right, you got the point. Bada bing, bada boom, look at that, a burst stopper for me and you. Prominence Phoenix, 3, 2, 1, go. I got off the armor. Oh, and you, oh man, wow. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, wait, big hit, hello. Okay, Raphael, I want a rematch. 3, 2. So what do you think so far when I beat you? Oh. Alrighty, 3, 2, 1, go shoot. Divine, now come on. This is a bay that you gotta run it back. If you don't run it back, then what are you doing? 3, 2, 1. I think this is like, so I think they actually perfected the things. Because the rubber is more exposed than Venture, you basically are going to get it doing more of, so that's...
Oh, the speed it gets. Another round.
3, 2, 1, you probably killed me. Three, two,
Get some speed, man. Oh.
Alrighty, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, shoot. 3, 2, 1, shoot. I'm getting it. Alright. Not only is Guilty pummeling the bay, it's pummeling that and the camera. So high mode, so we have to first do the test launch, obviously, and then after we'll do a battle, so. So in high mode, you obviously sacrifice stamina on this thing, the little that it had. Our opponent, Cyclone Ragnarok. 3, 2, 1. Please, please, for once in your life, just hit hard. Or don't die because of stamina. Three, 2, 1. Yeah. Oh, it's got dead stamina. It's got dead stamina without, yeah. My advice, my Zankye's advice for the end of the review, if you're gonna be using this, you gotta slap on the gears. So to end off, what are my final thoughts so far? I think now we have to give in context DB and standard, whatever, you know. So as far as the overall release, one thing that's probably going to be the only reason why some people would buy this is just because you get the easier to get Belial 2. Now because Belial 2 is only in the original, the Overdrive set, if you want to just get the other one, which is also heavier, I guess, that's the reason. My thoughts on the Divine Blade is that I definitely do not see the same stamina that I have seen previously. It definitely feels, because it's kind of hollowed for the gears, I think maybe also kind of more aggressive and everything. So my advice would probably be, other than just putting the gears, that if this thing is ever going to win, it's probably only going to be right at the start, because it seems like it dies very quickly. Adventure seems really cool. In a DB stadium, it goes really, really crazy. In a standard, if it's able to catch the ridge, that'll be pretty sweet, but I do feel like it will have the issues of probably self-KOing with accelerating. But it does seem very interesting, so overall, is it worth getting? I would say, you know, for starters also, if you care about the other gears in the future releases, or maybe even if the normal gears, you know, you can consider this release because they're setting it up for future gears, and maybe if you just like collecting and all that stuff, or you're just fine with the normal stuff, either way. I want to mention that we have a store where we have, do we still have Divine? Is Divine out of stock, or what's the...
The Divine is on pre-order, 10% off the whole weekend.
10% off the whole weekend?
Yeah.
So now to end off with a little special surprise. So to end off as a surprise, I want to mention that we're going to have a giveaway that expires this Sunday. We are going to have 3 Divine Belials as the prizes, first, second, and third. The giveaway is worldwide. Just comment what are your thoughts on Divine Belial. Make sure the Instagram is in the comment. And be a subscriber of the channel. 1 entry per person. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on the actual release. And what videos do you want to see? Whatever requests I see, if I really like it, I'll probably do it. So here's to Beyblade Burst BU. And thank you for watching. Hope you all have an amazing day. And I'm really going to have a lot of fun with this new release.